You blocked her.
I will not talk to her again. I said that to my friend, and I meant what I said. I will never in my life talk to her again.
Is
I
it in real?
It sounds like
say what I say, and I mean what I mean. I will not talk to her again. Nope.
B, you don't think that you invested in 2 to 20 dates. You don't think that you owe it to yourself?
I've invested in 2 to 3 year relationships and cut a bitch off. Don't play with me in every kind of way. I will never in my life talk to her again, and I mean that. Second chances, what we talked about last podcast. Let's talk about that. Lady yesterday, who I liked on Hinge, she finally reached out. We talking. I'm messaging her. After 4 messages, she didn't respond. Guess what I did? Block. Don't play with me like that. You see my messages. It was on Facebook. I can see when you see my messages. I was trying to then all of a sudden you don't want to talk my messages.
Okay, so serious question. Serious question.
He got a zero tolerance. Zero tolerance.
But aside from this woman, like how do you learn and grow for the next relationship or situation if you've never had, not even that you're trying to get back with that individual, but how do you learn, like, you know what, this is what I've done wrong, and because we were able to have this adult conversation, this is something that I know not to bring in. Like, how do you improve on yourself if you don't allow room to have those conversations? Just because you're having the conversation doesn't mean you're getting back, but just to have a little bit of self-evaluation. How do you have it?
Well, hold on. B, well, the thing is, though, if that question wouldn't really apply, right? If he doesn't think that he did anything wrong and he feel like he been used, right? Because that's really what came out of it. Go ahead.
Right, that's my point.
Well, to answer your question, Alex, I don't know. That's something I would have to sit down and just do some evaluation on. Maybe it's something I could bring up to my counselor. Maybe it's something she could talk to me about.
Do you
maybe
feel like you did something wrong? Do you feel like
I'm just answering her question. She said, "How can I improve?" And I'm just saying, if I mean.
But what I'm saying is,
I get what you're saying as well, right?
Yeah, because if you think that you were used, what do you have to improve?
That's
yeah.
Well,
right?
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, well.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If you answer that question, you concede the point that you were indeed not you. So you're conceding the point saying you were used. You answer that question. Now you're saying indeed you weren't used, and it's something you got to fix, right?
Well, no, but what I'm saying, I was just answering the point she made, the question she made.
My question was a little bit different here. Mine
was right, exactly.
Mine wasn't specific to the situation. My question or statement was just in general. And when you've had these past relationships or these past situations, how do you know and how do you approve on yourself and how do you know what not to carry into the next situation if when whatever you have going on ends and you don't have time to step back and reflect or get from your perspective, what happened? Like what went wrong? How do we fix this? Because I feel like that's how patterns continue on. And I'm not saying with him, I'm just saying in general. And I think to your point, Ham, I see what you're saying. If maybe he doesn't feel like he's in anything wrong and he's feeling like you wasted my time, which to a certain degree I do agree. However, but my point is that in that moment, because he feels that way, when what we were all saying, at least the females in here were saying, was that it may not really have anything to do with him. It could be something personal that he just doesn't know. But he's not going to know because he has not allowed opportunity to have a conversation, which is fine because he decided I'm going to be done with it. But my point was, well, how do you ever really know if you don't allow for room to have these types of conversations? So you can maybe fix it. And if you invest in this time, and if you like this woman the way that you say that you do, why not? Why isn't it worth it? Because she may be sitting back like, damn, I fumbled it, or, whatever the case is, I really liked him, but he's not reaching out to me. So in her mind, she's probably thinking, well, you only wanted some sex. So I wasted my time too, because she could think that as well.
Well,
it probably cost more to get ready for the date than it did that you spent on it. It cost a lot to get prepared.
No.
But now, 20 dates though.
Man, he's been on 4 dates with the girl, and it's DC. That sitting pay ain't 20, it's 45.
Right, exactly. And it ain't even 45.
It's not even a fill on your nails. Like that's not even a fill.
What do you mean?
That's,
a
45, that's 45 a piece.
45 a piece.
That's 45.
I understand that, but I'm saying to get your nails done is $130.
What are you saying? She got her nails done to go out on the 4 dates.
Herself for the date. So the preparation that she put in for the date cost more than what he paid for the date. I promise you that.
Her nails wasn't even all the way done, as I remember.
Oh, okay, well, then
her left big toe wasn't painted all the way, and her left thumb and right finger, this finger, whatever it's called, I don't know, wasn't filled in all the way. So
okay, my bad. I'm just thinking like she prepared herself. She maybe got her hair done.
But what I do know,
got waxed. That shit, you done spend a few $100s just to get to the date.
But what I do know is from past experience, a woman would lead a man on for a date. Now that I do know for a fact. Could that have been the situation? Again, I'm speculating. I don't know. But it goes back to the question. If I'm not, okay, it don't take date 20 for a woman to realize, damn, I'm not sexually attracted to this man. So what I'm saying is when we get to the bottom of the question, as it comes across our screen, should a man go out with a woman? Should a woman go out with a man she isn't sexually attracted to? Again, it don't take date 20 to figure this out now. I mean, come on, any man will tell that. I mean, this ain't rocket science.
I think if we're being specific to the question, the answer is yes, because some people could win somebody over who a woman might not be sexually attracted to on the first date or first couple of dates. I mean, that's the whole point of courtship, right? Is like to convince her that you're the right person for her. So if you're not, I mean, that's the whole point of it.
Come on, Sean.
That's why I said
does that take date 20?
It depends on your situation. I don't. If you only after the cheeks, then if it take 20 days to get that girl for cheeks, then that's what it is.
But I ain't even gonna take you out on 20 dates just to get the cheeks. So obviously that's a no.
I agree. That may not be the best practice, right? But if that's her policy and that's the woman you're trying to get, then that's what you got to do.
I can't see that.
But it's up to you, B, to convince her to shorten 20 dates to 3. That's your job. That's the whole point of courtship.
Nah, bro.
Bruh.
Yeah, agreed.
What you mean? Nah, like that.
Here we go.
There's no reason why. If it takes you 20 days to get the cheeks, that's on you.
Well, that's
and that's basically what Sean is saying. There's no, if it takes you 20 days.
Sean is not wrong, but you don't have full control over that. So if you look at the clip of what Dr. Umar was saying, oftentimes a woman will be playing with this nigga, but then doing something, doing whatever she doing with the other nigga. So she literally just using the nigga for one thing, though. But that's what's happening. There's a whole lot of manipulation. So I think sexually and physically they kind of coincide. I think you can grow in those ways. But if a woman isn't attracted to a man and then she goes out with him to see if she's attracted to him and it continues to happen, there has to be some abuse there that needs to be acknowledged.
What needs to be acknowledged though?
So are you saying like, so I know for like, there's a thing where women they'll have this one guy around that they might have sex with, right? But they're actively dating. They're really looking for their life partner. So is that what you're referring to? Like they're going out on dates?
It doesn't work.
No, is that, I'm just trying to get the basis. So you're saying for women that might be going out on dates, but not sleeping with the men that they're going out on dates with, but might have somebody on the side that they're actually having sex with?
Yeah,
is that the scenario we're talking about?
Yeah. That's one, yeah.
Well, but I mean even in that scenario, she's sleeping with one dude, but going out with another. So the dude she's sleeping with obviously isn't providing everything that she needs, or she wouldn't be double dipping.
I have a question for B.
Right, but that's why they stay single.
Did you think this was going to lead to a relationship, B?
Now I can honestly say I was feeling this lady. Like when we went out on the first date and we was vibing at Eastern Market, then when I took her to Navy Yard, like I was like, this lady is different. I was like, I'm really digging this chick. And even to one of my friends, I was like, yo, I'm really vibing with this lady. That I can't admit to. But my cutoff game was strong. I cut you off. I cut you
But
off.
Do you think that was fear-based? Like you felt like your feelings were hurt, so now I'm just not
Absolutely. To have a woman half naked in the bed to you say, I'm not sexually attracted to you, do you know how that would hurt and crush a person?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Now, I also understand what Alex is saying. There may be some issues with her, but at that point in time, how do you decipher the two? It's like, you might have your own personal issues, but I'm kissing on you, trying to put you in the moment, and you would sit back and say, I'm not sexually attracted to you. That hurts. Absolutely. Absolutely, Slim. Absolutely.
But that only happened one time.
But I just feel like maybe you should have shared that with her. Like, hey, you know,
hurt my feelings.
We were really having a good time. We went, and I know that it's scary to be able to share this with somebody that you like, but hey, you know, I really enjoyed spending my time with you. I thought we had a connection, and I know you said that you weren't sexually attracted to me, so I'm not sure where we go from here. Like, are you looking for friendship? And then there should have been some clarity before you blocked her. She'd be like, no, I'm really just looking to be friends right now. But you didn't even know.
But how do you come back from that if you're in the bed?
I get it.
I mean, how do you come back from that? I mean, how do you come back from that's like me walking down the sidewalk and a dude punches me. Then 2 weeks later, hey man, I'm sorry. I was just in the middle of the moment. I'm sorry for punching you. But can we be friends? It's like, how do you come back from that? Like, all I can say is certain things with me, huh?
You got to be your own talent evaluator, right? Like, you got to be able to decide, if I'm investing this much into a person, then I can't just let it be one thing and then it's over.
Right. Because it seems like you guys liked each other.
If you go on 20 dates, I don't know how many dates y'all went on, but if you spending money going on dates, you got to assume for yourself, like, I'm doing this as an investment. Because you ain't taking her to McDonald's, you're taking her to Eastern Market and Navy Yard, like you said. So if you're doing that, you got to be able to assume that you're spending this money for a purpose, and their purpose can't just be based around coochie credit, as you said.
But no, it's not just that. However,
because you know, like everybody else know, like, you don't need to go to Eastern Market and Navy Yard to get coochie. Right.
Well, trust me. I know. I go to the McDonald's on Minnesota Avenue. I can tell you some stories, but that's another story for another.
But that's my point, though. Like, you went to Eastern Market and Navy Yard, so you felt some type of way about this girl. You ain't just taking her to no regular joint. You ain't taking her to Applebee's, nigga. You took her to Eastern Market and Navy Yard. So you can't just throw it away, and you invested that much. That's why I said charge it to the game, because if you throwing it away, you already decided, like, I didn't throw this into it. I don't care about it no. That's like a business investment. You throw money in something, you don't get no return out of it. You willing to wash your hands of it, then you got to keep it moving. No sweat off your back.
I'm sorry. And there's no lady who get halfway naked if she's not sexually attracted to you.
She was.
No, she would have put you out. She would have put you out.
So the question at the bottom of scrolling, it says, should B give her another chance? Yeah. I would say we would have to ask, is B ready for a relationship? Because what it sounds like is that you're in a position to where you're overly sensitive to everything, almost everything that women that you've been on dates with have done. Like, and this is no disrespect, I've not once heard you talk positive about any date that you've been on. It's like an episode of 50 Bad Dates and you're the host. Like, I think that would be the bigger question, because even in any type of interpersonal relationship, you're going to find those flaws and issues. Do you just walk out on your wife because she says something about you not taking the trash out? You're just like, that's a deal breaker because I just came in the house from work. How am I supposed to know that I'm supposed to take the trash out? It's like, that's part of it.
Hey, Q, that's a good B impression.
That was a great impression.
That's a good B impression right there.
That was great.
Nope, I will not give her a second chance. Nope, I said it, and I mean what I say. I stand by it. Nope, will not. Nope. There's no give in me when it comes down to a woman. I've been dealing with this since I was 20. I'm 30, 10 years. Nope, will not.
But then you got to start to ask yourself, is it you then? Because that's a long time.
Right.
And that's why I was saying, like, what would you do different? How do you know how to change something? You know, and I think, so that's the question. So what would you have done differently? Because
that
you like
sounds like a trauma response for you, B. I mean, I'm no therapist, but it sounds like a trauma response. Flight or fight, and you're running. Anytime that there's something that scares you or hurts, you run. And that's
what when you've been used so many times, when you've been used millions of times, you begin to put up this wall. You begin to put up this no bullshit wall when you've been used so many times. When you're trying to move mountains just to see a woman. When you're trying to court this woman, her father loves you, her mother loves you. You've been through this so many times. Eventually, you put up this no brick, no bullshit wall, and it goes back to what I said earlier. This is how fuckboys become developed. When you've been through this so many times, it's like one red flag, bitch, you gone.
So it seems like you're self-sabotaging because maybe this girl was a really good person.
But how again, how do you? And I don't take anything away from her as being a good person, but how do you?
But you want her car to blow up on 95? Like that's a bit.
I didn't say I want. I said if. I said if.
Instead if she was stranded.
But at the end, again, any man can also side with me when they sit back and would agree with me.
Right, Adrian, you the therapist.
How do you come back from that? I mean, how do you come back from that? I mean, I'm in the bed, you in the bed, we half naked, and you're gonna sit back and say, I'm not sexually attracted to you. I mean, how do you come back from that?
Right, but say you didn't know you was married to her and you didn't know she was on her period. Would you feel the same way? Would you always feel slighted, or would you have a conversation?
She should say something. Two grown people can't have a conversation. Just say, hey man, at this present point in time, I'm on my period. I can't give you no cootie cat. That's so hard.
But as a grown person, why can't you just say, you know what, you hurt my feelings? I felt right about that. I felt like you're wasting my time.
Yeah.
It's okay to say that.
Well, I think the overarching Adrian definitely got to chime in. The audience is looking for it. Like, share, subscribe, by the way. If you like it, our algorithm extends, right? So more people can see us. B, I think one thing that Alex asked you earlier kind of is pertinent, right? Because there are no opportunities in your relationships to work through issues. Because as soon as you see something that is a reminder, right, based on what you think you know, then you leave automatically. Not even just this particular instance, right? But even with your brother's cousin, uncle, you cut off the whole family. The mom was dead. You cut her off.
Yeah.
So
the dead mom. Rest in peace.
You know what I'm saying? God bless the dead. But I remember you told her you ain't talking to her no more.
Yeah.
So at what point, if you were in a relationship, right? Because I think Shanae said you want to be single, are you going to be able to work through it in a relationship? Because you would have to ask yourself, because every time you get a red flag and you curve the person, you will never be able to maintain a relationship.
Newsflash for you, B. Nobody's ever going to hit all your check boxes.
Come on, Sean.
Nobody's ever going to hit all your check boxes. So if you assume that's the way you're going to operate going forward, you're mistaken. Or you're going to be single B for a long fucking time.
Yeah, like Shanae said.
And at some point, you have to, I think it's really important just as people, you have to check in with yourself, right? You got to sit down and notice. We all have themes in our life. We all have our own personal flaws and hiccups. But if I've been in, just giving out a number, let's say I was in 4 relationships, maybe I wasn't the one who broke it up, but I would say, like, what was the common theme between myself and these relationships? You know what I mean? And how can I go ahead and I sort that? And I say that because just from our conversations on here, it seems like you do at some point want to have this long-term committed relationship. But in order to do that, you have to give yourself permission to be vulnerable so that you can then figure out what's wrong so that you can go ahead and have a successful relationship with that person. Because I do feel like you still like her, and it definitely sounds like, you still in your feelings about it. And that's fine, because I would be too, money aside, but also my time. And then I thought I was going to get to mass that night, and you didn't. But I really think the situation wasn't about you. But I think even if you decide, fuck it, I don't want to be with you anymore, I still think you owe it to yourself to just kind of figure out, and even just to check in on her. Yo, was everything okay? Did I do something wrong? What happened?
But you want an after action report, B. You want lessons learned, man. Like you want to be able to say, all right, what did I do right? What did I drop the ball on? Even if you didn't, you still kind of want that feedback.
Yeah.
Going forward. Yeah. Maybe not with her.